hello, beautiful people. I hope that you're all doing so well. I hope that you're surviving. I hope that you're thriving. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And most importantly, I hope that you've had a beautiful, wonderful, fabulous start to this new week. Hope everything is going well. Hope that you're taking care of yourself. And, if things are not looking great and things are going a bit south, I am here for you. I'm sending you so much love, so much support, so much good vibes, and I'm just hoping that you come out of the other side super strong, super feisty, doing your thing, all of that good stuff. And I'm just hoping that by the end of this episode, we would have been able to make some sort of a difference in your perspective, whether it's putting a small smile on your face or helping you learn something new to make you feel a lot better about your situation. That would be fabulous. So if you are a newbie and you don't know where you are at this point in time and you're just like, who is this chick that's telling me I'm gonna survive and thrive and all of this stuff? Well, I'm here to tell you, my dear friend, that this right here that you're listening to, this is the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I'm your host, Ndwenhle, and this is the space whereby I like to chat shit, where I like to share my life's perspective as I navigate clumsily through my 20s, because I just feel like the 20s are a very interesting time. There's lots to learn, lots to fall flat on your face and fail at, and I think it's just like a really awesome opportunity to, add some sprinkles in between while we're learning and growing, and understand that, these are the years to kind of build the person that you want to be in future. And it's just important for us to take every single opportunity to learn new things, not take too much too personally, and just work through our shit so that we become like amazing people on the other side. And so hi, happy Tuesday. I am going to try and make this one quick because my laptop actually is about to die, which is absolutely fabulous and wonderful. But I'm sure it'll last. It'll be fine. So as I'm recording this, I'm home alone. Everyone is just gone. Everyone just left me to my own devices. So I was like, you know what? I have something that's on my heart that I just want to share, that I just want to talk about. And, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about it. Like, damn, okay. So anyway, guys, as the year closes out, I am finding it increasingly difficult to focus on doing work. Like, I think in my brain, I've already checked out, which is such a bad thing because I've got like a couple of things that I need to close out before the end of the year. But I'm just finding it very difficult to focus. Like, I'm scattered brained. Like, I do like two things and then I'm like, okay, cool, I am done. I'm finished. I am out. But before I get into what's been heavy on my heart, like, what have I been up to? What have I been doing? Well, literally today, I decided to listen to a diary of a CEO. I think that's what the podcast is called. And I was listening to that episode with that guy that did the whole fire festival thing. And that guy, like, I was just listening to him the whole time. I was like, this guy cannot be serious. Like, he was dancing around the questions. He was like not taking accountability properly for what he was doing. He's just like, oh my gosh, yes, I did such a bad thing. Oh my gosh, I'm such an awful person. But the lies that he told, that's absolutely insane. And I know, like, I'm a few years late, but like, I don't know, for some reason today I was like, oh, like, let me listen to this. Like, this seems like something interesting to put on in the background and, get a little bit educated on. So that in itself was wild. But anyway, sidebar. I have been, experiencing a little bit of a good time, I guess you could say. In the sense that I feel like for the past couple of weeks I've been in a relatively good space, like feeling positive, feeling light, feeling great, like talking to people again. And then this week I feel like I started getting this like feeling of anxiety, this feeling of, I want to say it's kind of like the feelings, and this is around like relationship type things, right? But I started feeling this feeling of anxiety around like codependence, and then worrying if I was sabotaging shit, and if like just overall just getting in my head about the entire situation, like feeling a little bit upset, when the responses aren't coming as fast as they were, and I don't know, ultimately just feeling upset and doubting myself and my worthiness and all of that good stuff, right? Well, it's not really good stuff, but I guess in a sense it is, because like you can either let it break you, or you can use it as an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with self. And yesterday, as I was driving home and I was feeling this heaviness in my heart and feeling like super upset that, okay, like this person kind of like spoke, it feels like they spoke to me for a little bit, and then they just like deuces, whatever, like not interested in keeping up the conversation anymore. It like, I realized that it hurt my feelings, but I'm like, why is it hurting your feelings? Because your feelings for this person aren't even that deep. And I just feel like it went back to a thing of this fear of rejection, and I don't know, just kind of feeling a little bit dejected, because, as much as sometimes, we give people that maybe we're not feeling that much a chance, we think, oh, like maybe things will change, who knows, all of this stuff. And then they kind of disappoint you at some point. like I don't know, we get down on ourselves, and then we start questioning our own worthiness and all of that stuff. And I feel like for the majority of this year, I've been in that sort of cycle whereby I get so invested and excited in these, like, I guess, spurts of relationships, if you want to call them that. Like, these guys will come into my life. It will look hopeful for a good hot minute, hot second, or whatever. And then, after a while, it just doesn't play out in my favor. And then I'm left to pick up the pieces. And I think, just observing those situations in themselves and observing some of the relationships that I've been in the past, I have kind of got to this point whereby I'm like, bro, fuck this shit. Like genuinely, truly, and honestly, fuck this shit. At the end of the day, I know who I am. I am an amazing human being with so much to offer and so much love to give. And if you don't see the value in me, and you don't want to stick around, and you don't want to experience me in my entirety and all of that stuff, that's your problem. Like, I have nothing to do with it. It doesn't mean that I'm less valuable or I'm less worthy of a relationship or whatever. It just goes to show that you're the wrong person for me, because the right person would never do the shit that you're doing, quite honestly. And as I go along in my journey, I'm trying not to take these experiences like too personally, and rather have it be a moment to reflect on, okay, cool, this is another experience that came up. This is kind of like what I gleaned from this experience. Was I happy with what I got from this? Like, was I comfortable? If I wasn't comfortable, what can I change going forward? All of that good stuff. And then we grieve in whichever way we want to grieve the situation, whether it's cry, scream, throw things, or whatever, and we move on. Like, gone are the days whereby we are out here lamenting for people that have no place and add no value into our lives. Like, it's either you get it or you don't get it, quite honestly. So yesterday, as I was driving home, like, I literally had a whole heart-to-heart conversation with myself, and I was like, listen, babes, it's okay to feel upset and sad. It's okay to feel upset over something like this happening, right? But you can't let it throw you off your equilibrium, right? I feel like I've had experiences in the past whereby, like, someone doesn't act in according to what I want, and I completely spiral out of control. I'm like sad for days. I'm like overthinking everything. I'm like going crazy or whatever. And I'm like, you can't give people your power like that. Like, when you start feeling those feelings of anxiety, like, I need you to remind yourself of who you are and what you stand for, and remind yourself of what you really, really, really want in this life. And if the person is not acting in accordance to what you want as a person, that person is not meant to be in your life. That person is not meant to be in your space. And don't like lament and chase after that person to try and get them to act in accordance with what you want. It just doesn't correlate. It doesn't make sense. It's just that person is showing you that they're not meant to be in your life. And so don't fucking stress yourself over it. There are 100 other things to stress about. You can stress about your goals, about wanting to get your finances under control, about fucking wanting to have a good time with your friends or whatever. Like, there are so many other things to stress about than somebody, whether it's relationship wise, whether it's friendship wise, that is not acting in accordance with what you want and what you need in a person, right? So I literally had a whole heart to heart with myself, and I was like, baby girl, like, it's okay to be sad, but let's not be too sad over this for a long time. First of all, this person wasn't doing these things, which means like they have no power over you and your emotions. Like, you acted in accordance to what you felt was right at the time and what worked for you, and that's the best thing that you can do sometimes. Like, what they decide to do hence after, that's their own business. And if this doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. There are plenty of other people out there that are waiting to shower you with so much love, so much affection, so much attention. Like, see previous years as reference, you know? So I had this whole talk with myself, and in having that talk with myself, I actually had a moment of appreciation for, I guess, the relationship that I've cultivated with myself, like, throughout this entire year. I feel like this year has been quite a hard one. And if I look back at, like, my camera roll and all of that, like, the other day I was just looking, and I know some people think it's weird, but there are literally videos of me crying in there. And no, I did not post them anywhere, but I wanted to capture those moments as a reminder to myself, like, when life got better, that I've gone through moments where I've literally cried my heart out because I didn't understand, like, what I was feeling, where I was going. I was feeling lost, I was feeling sad, dejected, rejected, upset, confused about so many things. And somehow I got through it. Somehow the tears kind of just stopped flowing a little bit. Like, yes, sometimes I cry, you know, because sometimes you just need to release your emotions, but, like, I don't cry viscerally in the way that I was a couple of months ago. And I've just come to recognize that I am in the process, and I'm not always going to get it right, but right now I'm in the process of cultivating a safe space within myself whereby I give myself the opportunity to be honest with how I'm feeling. And if I'm feeling upset about something, I don't judge myself for feeling that way. I actually, in a way, try and talk to myself in the way that I would if a good friend of mine or a younger cousin of mine came to me with a problem and they felt, really broken up about it. Like, I've been trying to approach my relationship with self in that way, especially during the more difficult periods, because I just feel like, sometimes when we feel some type of way about our life and we're confused about, certain things not going in the way that we thought we would or whatever, it's our first instinct to kind of like tell the people around us, which is not wrong. Like, we are human. We are creatures that really appreciate community and want, people to comfort us and surround us. But I think that there is a certain beauty to be able to give yourself some sort of comfort and a safe space to feel your feelings and understand what it is that you're going through first. And like, with that being in mind, yeah, with that being said, I feel like this year has been less about like outwardly sharing every single thing that I'm feeling and every thought that runs through my mind with it's so weird, like with the people around me. Almost, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like for the most part it's been more so a thing of me trying to understand myself first before I start to share those thoughts and feelings with somebody else, so that I don't put myself in the position whereby I am receiving other people's thoughts and emotions which cloud how I'm actually really feeling. Like maybe I'm feeling like I wasn't feeling as bad about a particular situation, and then I tell somebody, and then all of a sudden this person's angry, and then I'm angry, but I wasn't angry at first because I didn't think it was that deep to me at first. Like that sort of thing. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I think I'm still like trying to configure that, honestly. But my biggest thing this year has been learning to be my own champion and trusting my own voice and comforting myself for the most part before I go out there and seek it from others, which I feel like is such an important like lesson I think that I needed to learn, especially when it comes to relationships, because I think where like in previous years when I've got into relationships and stuff, like I think I would rely heavily on the other person to help me feel better when I wasn't feeling great, and I would allow the actions of my person to kind of dictate how I was feeling. So if my guy didn't take me out on a date or something like that, I'd get so pissed off and so upset, and I'd kind of just expect him to fix it. Whereas I feel like if I had found more solace in like self-soothing and understanding why I was feeling upset and finding better ways to vocalize those feelings to my partner, like maybe things would have been better. But I found myself like, I don't know, like in those moments whereby I was not really like sure how to articulate my emotions, or feeling upset at something that my partner did and I didn't take the time to quite understand why and then voice those opinions, like I just shut myself down completely, and I feel like it didn't really help move the relationship forward. And so like I'm seeing through engaging with other people again and like observing when certain situations trigger me and all of that stuff, like I'm starting to see those old patterns kind of like flare up and come back. And I feel like when it is time for me to get into a real relationship again, I'm going to have to learn how to address those like feelings and emotions and those triggers and communicate them in a way that makes sense to me and also doesn't like accuse my partner of doing something, and I feel like it's hard to put that into practice when you're in a situation whereby it's kind of like, nah, we kind of just talking, we kind of just vibing, but some of the shit that you're doing is really triggering me and it's really upsetting me, and it's like, do I communicate how I feel? Like, do you even care that much? And if you don't care, like, why should I care, So yeah, I've kind of just been going through like those emotions and those feelings and processing all of that. But for the most part, I just want to say I'm just really grateful that I've reached a point, in my relationship with self where I can recognize these things and I can make notes of what has triggered me, and then I start to work on it. Like when I recognized that I was feeling some type of way about the situation and, circumstances around me that was triggering me to feel a particular way, what I did was, I was like, okay, cool. We are going to speak to ourselves on the way home. And sometimes it also helps me to record something, to vocalize my feelings, to kind of air them out in a sense. And so I recorded something just talking about how I was feeling. I was very specific about like what had triggered me, what had led to it, like why I was feeling this way, as much as I could possibly like understand. And yeah, it just helped me feel a little better and a little bit lighter. It didn't completely resolve the situation, but it kind of took the emotional edge off how I was feeling. And then after that, I had said some really comforting words to myself. I was like, you are worthy of what you want. You're an absolute queen. Anyone would be super, super lucky to be with you. Like, I absolutely adore you as a person. And, you know, it's not the end of the world if this doesn't work out. Like, you're not a bad person for, you know, having this person in your life. Like, their loss, fuck them. Essentially. And it's really nice to get to that place whereby that can be your, I don't know, what's the, like, your generator. So like, you know, if you live in South Africa, there's a thing called load shedding, and it's when they like turn off the power, and you know, you have a generator that kicks in the background. So you know, sometimes situations like this will happen and it will turn your lights off and you'll be sitting there in the dark, confused, kind of like lost and scared and worried. And then you have that generator that kicks back in and gives you that power back. And that generator is some sort of like self-love and those affirmations to kind of remind you of who you are and what an incredible human being you are, because you really are. So yeah, like I had that moment and I was like, okay, cool, I feel better. And then I was like, okay, cool, let's go to the gym, do some squats so that you can be super hot and you can focus on having a beautiful December, because that's what we wanted. We wanted to be outside. We want to, you know, have fun, enjoy. And that's what I'm still going to do. Like, fuck all of this other shit. Like, how you feel about me is not my problem. But anyway, after that, I went to the gym. I came back and I was like, okay, cool, I'm feeling better. Then I showered and I journaled a little bit. I think I journaled, or did I journal this morning? I did journal this morning. That made me feel better. Ooh, and I'm almost breaking my laptop. That's wild. But yeah, I had come home and then I got some rest. Then this morning I woke up, and I woke up like at 5, which I usually don't wake up at 5. Usually I wake up at like 20 to 6 o'clock-ish. And I woke up with the sense of like anxiety, like a mini panic attack was coming on. And I was like, no. And this was around the situation. I was like, okay, I recognize that I'm feeling anxiety over the situation, but let's take back ownership of our power. Like, let's step back into our power. This situation does not own us. We're not claiming it as, you know, a part of our DNA or whatever it is. Like, chill out. I listened to a nice little video and I went back to sleep, and I listened to some, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the crystal gems, but that thing, the sound bath thing, and I was feeling so much better when I woke up. I did my little journaling session to put on paper what was on my heart and how I was feeling when I woke up feeling panicked and all of that. And then after, I went into my morning pages about what am I grateful for? Like, what do I want my day to look like? And I was like, I want to have a good day. I want to be positive vibes today. I don't want to focus on the situation. I just want to feel good within my body, good within my life, and just have a good time, because that's how you attract shit into your life. Like, you try and move yourself into a more positive and lighter kind of vibe and mindset almost. So I told myself that's what I was going to do. And then I imagined a future where I had all of the things that, you know, I want to have happen, and it just made me feel a lot better. And then, yeah, that's when I started listening to this fucking podcast about this guy from Fire. And I was like, oh my gosh, a scandal. And in between that, I listened to some SZA. And SZA made me feel better. I was like, SZA, you see me. Like, I feel what you feel. Like, it's like hitting deep in my soul and my spirit. And I felt like calm and peaceful. But I also didn't get to tell you that in between me doing all of the journaling and all of that stuff, I did tapping again for the first time in ages. And I feel like that also helped take the emotional edge off of the situation a little bit as well. And oh my gosh, my washing is done. This is absolutely amazing because I am going to party for 3 days and I'm like, I have no clothes. What am I doing with my life? But anyway, yeah, so what did I say? So yeah, I've kind of just been chilling, I've been vibing, and I've just been feeling relatively good actually. And I'm just like, you know what, they always come back. They always come back when you're having fun and you're just living your best life and you're just like, fuck that shit. They always come back, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to accept them back into your life or not. And also, I can't just be reading too much into every single situation. It'll drive me insane. So yeah, this is kind of like how I'm trying to take back my power as an individual. And I think for the most part, it's learning to stay within my power and not let too much rattle me. And also, I've just observed it as a learning that I need somebody that doesn't trigger me in that way. Like, I'm someone that requires a lot of reassurance, and like, not to say that I need you there like every minute of the day. No, I think I'm relatively independent in that sense, but I need reassurance, especially around certain events. And if you don't provide that for me, that means that you're not the right person for me. And so I can't be getting all upset and emotional over that, because not everybody that comes into your life is going to be for you, And I've just been learning to let that go. And I've just been trying to be in my power. So I guess today's message is all about reclaiming your power. Like, when something throws you off balance, have a moment to be like, okay, this is what threw me off. Like, I'm feeling this way about it. I'm going to feel that feeling. I'm going to be fucking pissed off. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to do all of that stuff. But get it all out of your system, because the more that you hold on to it, the more you feel rattled, and you're going to act out of accordance to what you want to, how you want to present and how you want to be. So when something happens, get your balance first and then act in accordance. And yeah, after something like that happens, reground yourself in the things that you love. We talk about this all the time on this podcast, is just reground yourself. Listen to content that makes you feel good. Do something that makes you feel good. Journal, sing, shout, dance, whatever it is. But just focus on getting back to a place of alignment and balance, and just know that, these situations are temporary. And as long as if you hold your own hand through it, for the most part, and truly, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? If you want to share your feelings, entrust those feelings in the right people that have your best interest at heart, you'll be fine, baby. You'll be fine, baby girl. It'll be okay. You're going to be strong. And that's what I keep telling myself. So yeah, even you, my friend, you're going to be strong. You're going to be okay. Okay? Do not worry your pretty little head. You're going to be just fine. Just focus on being BFFs with yourself and taking care of yourself and loving yourself. Yeah, you're the best. So yeah, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you could get some value from this episode. We'll catch up later. And yeah, don't forget, everything that you do it with love and a sprinkling of magic. I love and respect you. You're an absolute queen and a dream. And anyone that comes into your life is so lucky, worthy, and like, it's like anyone that comes into your life is just so lucky to have you in their life, is basically what I'm trying to say. Never ever forget that, because there's truly nobody out there that's like you, and nobody can do the shit that you do. I mean, maybe they can, but they can't do it in the way that you do, baby. Okay? Don't forget that, and don't let these stupid people that are outside like bully you into thinking that you're not worthy and that you have to beg for attention, affection, and all of that shit. Like, no. In this space, we are way above that. We understand our worth and our value and what we bring to the table, and that is a fucking lot. Can tell you that for free. So yeah, catch up with you later, and take care of yourself, and all of the links that you need are in the description, is all I can say. And if you want to support, like, please review the podcast, share it with a friend, and yeah, thank you. I'll catch up with you, if not tomorrow, the day after that. Bye.